But you don't know this virus. It's new. But you don't know this virus. It's new, it's different. It mutates and goes in different directions with a different strain of itself. So whether I'm present or absent, the Executive Council of the Nation of Islam must call our scientists. Come and let's sit down. Our virologists, our epidemiologists, those of us who know the science. We cannot let them bring anything to us that we don't dissect.
And there's still plenty to dissect. Still plenty to dissect.
There's still more, and it just, it just because it freezes for a moment because it wants to make sure y'all paying attention. That's
right.
It's like anyway. Woo! Listen, y'all. It's Thursday Talks, and your sister can hardly see, but I am here.
Fighting a good fight.
Fighting a good fight tonight. But listen. All seriousness. Welcome. I'm so happy to be here. I am your sister Michelle. I am your moderator for this evening, and I'm so excited. I can't
hostess with the mostest. Y'all give Sister Michelle that love now. Come on, that's the hostess with the mostest.
Throw it up. Now listen. And the reason why I'm excited and I'm skipping over a whole lot of stuff because I'm so excited. We got a nice and special and wonderful guest we have. It's going to be coming on soon. But I want to welcome in the audience. But before our special gets on, I'm gonna need you to do something for me, right? Can y'all just please go and like and share? What's going on tonight? Right? Just please go on and like and support. That's it. Go and support. Right. Grab your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, your nephew, your son, your daughter.
Get them all
down the block, right?
They say lottie dottie and everybody.
Try to get to party, okay? I'm just saying, bring everybody into the party. Because listen, it's not going to be a fulfilled party if we don't have the participants, right? So we are literally lighting it up this evening. So make sure you stop for a moment, do what we've asked you to do, please. So please,
That's
like
right.
That's right. And also too, remember, right? Just if you can't, or for whatever reason you can't like and share, grab somebody in your house and bring them in front of the computer with you, or your television, or however you're watching us on Facebook.
You're gonna come running in with them later on anyway, all halfway late, missing the information, getting it wrong. You keep trying to repeat. Y'all get the people on right now.
Hello. So, I mean, again, we want to welcome you in. We always want to thank the audience. Greetings, good evening. Thank you for joining us. We always want to, of course, thank our 7th Freedom Coalition for team on the ground. Always, doesn't matter. We root you on. Thank you for supporting us in the comments and all that you do. So thank you so much. Also, too, want to thank our team here because we do a lot of work, and a special shout out to Sister Kalila because she's always holding it down. Sister holding it down. Okay? She holding it down. Right? There you go. So we appreciate the audience. We appreciate the team. I appreciate you all for supporting what we all do every week. Always bringing solutions and really some clarity to what we do. And, and before I turn it over to Brother Lau, again, we just want to make sure that you're informed about all the things that are happening in this world today. And we just try to break it down in the simplest terms, right? So you can ingest it and share it on, right? Bringing truth. We're not trying to fake you out. So anyway, welcome again. Brother Lau, I will hand over the baton to you. You will do the pass around. And then, we'll get into our special guest in just a moment. So
take it right there, right, a little bit. There we go. We good. right? And we're not running away.
No,
We running to the fight. We running to the fight, family. We running to the fight. Brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum to my Muslim family. Praise the Lord to my Christian brothers and sisters. Ungawa Black Power to all my Black revolutionaries and to all you peace and freedom loving people across the land. Peace and blessings and welcome to Thursday Night Talk with the 7th Region Coalition. And family, I'm telling you right now, some of y'all, no, you're doing too much listening. You're supposed to be liking and sharing right now and making sure that your peoples who you say you love, I ain't talking about the ones somebody else said, I'm talking about the ones you said you care about, the ones you love, reach out for them at this particular time. And so I'm just as excited as our beloved Sister Michelle, you know, and all I can say is, don't mind me, family. Just, if y'all saw the title, you kind of know where this is going. You understand there's something right, you know, but don't tell me that you understand until you hear the man. Let me stop real quick.
Hey.
Right.
Look, he going,
I know you was a lyricist, brother.
But I'm not gonna start doing like Flavor over here. No, sir.
Right. Well, we definitely do have a very special a guest that's going to be with us this evening. And before we even deal with that, we want to remind you again, the 7th Region Coalition. Just think about it.
That's right.
Think about a lighthouse and how important a lighthouse is to a ship that's carrying valuable people across some dark and treacherous waters and times like what we're living in right now. That lighthouse is valuable, and we want to be that lighthouse for you right here in the 7th Region Coalition. And just to make sure you know, have your light on tonight, right?
That's
not just the one that you flicker that switch. I'm talking about flicker this switch because we're going to turn it up tonight. But before we do that, let me give it to my beloved sister going on right now. Our beloved sister Khalila Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yeah.
Thank you for passing that baton. I am so excited. I just can't hide it. I know. Okay. So this brother, I've been knowing for a little minute, and it's so because we're gonna talk about some things that y'all don't even know about my dear brother, and it's gonna be something that y'all gonna be like, for real? No, for real? No. And he gonna have to show you one day. But just getting to know who our brother really is. So the title of our show is Don't Believe the Hype. And why he's considered like the number one public enemy of social media. But why? This brother loves us. He desires the best for us. He's all about saving lives. So why is he considered public enemy number one on social media? Why they're trying to remove him from our world and wake us up because we are asleep. Let's just be real. We are asleep right now. So we need to wake up, and this brother is waking us up every day on sacrificing his life. Don't get it twisted. Sacrificing his life every day to save our lives. So we need to find out why why the enemy, because let's be real, let's call it who they are. Why the enemy wants to remove our dear brother from all these platforms. But we're gonna find out why today. All right. But without further ado, we're gonna pass the baton over to my dear brother Tony.
That looks so seamless. All right.
I know, right?
Like, share right now.
Dear family, peace and blessings. Hotep, shalom, abaragani, buenos dias, sakpase, assalamu alaikum. Greetings in every language that we may speak out there. We are the righteous and we are the best. And we are working to help save lives, just like the brother that we're going to be introducing today, this evening.
That's right.
It's an honor and a pleasure to have this brother and for me to call him my brother in this struggle to liberate the minds of our people. With that, I turn it over to the hostess with the mostest, who will be introducing our brother.
Woo woo! I get the honors. Look, and y'all leaving it to the person that can't see. Okay.
We got you black. We got you black right here.
No, I got it. Look, I can see it a little bit, so don't mind me. Anyway, so let's start this off. Our title tonight is "Don't Believe the Hype." Okay. Don't believe the hype.
Excuse me.
Don't believe the hype. So the question is, before we get into the bio, is why is he social media's public enemy number one? Number one. Okay, we don't know, right? But we're gonna get into it. Let's introduce our brother Rizza Islam, social justice activist and speaker, a dynamic leader noted for his passion in addressing issues of concern to the community. Brother Izza has devoted his life to educating, uplifting, motivating through viable solutions to those across this country and throughout the world. Brother Rizza is the youngest of 10 children, born and raised in Compton, California.
Okay.
And began his career at the early age of 9.
Y'all heard that, right?
Wow.
9, like
9. Wow.
5, like
wow.
9.
That's big. Training to become a course room supervisor.
We'll get into that.
Exactly. That's going into something else, but whoop, whoop, okay. At the age of 13, Brother Rizza was running his own course room training and overseeing the education of the youth and adults in the study of how to study morals, ethics, communication, substance abuse education, and a host of other services designed to assist his students to make them better, to make better choices in their lives. Like, we don't need that now, but I digress. Again, at the age of 13, Brother Rizza also gave his first professional speech in front of more than 3,000 of churchgoers, speaking on the importance of becoming educated and actually learning the proper way to study. Can I say
y'all
that?
running to get them children now, right? You running to get them 13-year-olds and them 9-year-olds now, huh? I told you to go get them.
9, 20, 25. But anyway, at the age of 15, moving on, Brother Rizza began training as a substance abuse counselor to deliver drug-free substance use abuse services to drug-affected populations in Compton, Watts, and the surrounding cities, which we know is very bad.
Beautiful.
So amazing work. At the age of 19, this brother is just moving. I don't know who has done all of this at such a young age, but Brother Rizza is on. Anyway, at the age of 19, Brother Rizza began delivering educational. I'm sorry. Oh, did I say that? No, I didn't. At the age of 19, he began delivering educational substance abuse services to schools now throughout Compton, Watts, and Los Angeles, and was consistently sought out after being named the best counselor of work with the youth in inner city schools. Rizza was very involved in the implementation and expansion of the United of Peace Upfest rides beginning in Los Angeles, which is a monthly motorcycle and lowrider event to pass out morally sound information to the county and end with performances in local parks. The annual reunion of this event brings thousands of motorcycle riders and lowriders out to celebrate peace in the streets. This event is continuing throughout the country. Huge.
Come on.
In 2015, Rizza coordinated a meeting involving Robert Kennedy Jr., which is dear to my heart, Brother Rizza, you just don't even know. Minister Tony Muhammad, the CDC whistleblower, Dr. Brian Hooker, as well as a group of local leaders and activists to bring an intelligent education on the vaccine issue to the Black community. This event brought to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan becoming involved and exposed to this information at the 2015 Million Man March, and the 1 million people involved, and to the 1.2 billion people watching throughout the world. I'm just going to pause there because that was a huge thing for me, and I'll digress and I'll mention later. Rizza has been instrumental in negotiating peace treaties between several active gangs as well, all throughout LA County, being invited to various gang members, celebrities, including Snoop, The Game, music, and many more. Others along as far as police departments, as a result of his actions over the years, has made phenomenal progress and success. One of the most notable treaties took place in 2016 when Rizza worked with Minister Tony Muhammad our West Coast regional minister of the Nation of Islam, to negotiate a truce between the Crips, Bloods, and the LAPD. Brother speaks passionately and intelligently around the globe on issues ranging again from education, psychiatric drugging, and electroshocking of those within our society, substance abuse, toxicity of vaccines, according to the CDC own studies, human and sex trafficking and slavery, and many other areas of human rights abuses throughout the country and the world. Last thing, Brother Rizza Islam is an author, an international speaker, and social activist, serving as a founder of the intellectual extremist who was most recently awarded by the city of Los Angeles for his tireless work with the youth in the city.
Putting in work. That's what we call putting
Brother
in
Rizza.
work. So look,
let's bring him
bring
on.
our brother to the right now in 7th Region Coalition, and all y'all, wherever you at, give our brothers some love.
Bring him on.
Come on, give him some
There he
love.
is.
Brother, it's love. Big brother.
Praise be to Allah.
Listen, my hat, everything.
I don't know who y'all talking about.
Too, brother.
Awesome.
Wow.
Amazing work. Amazing.
Praise be to Allah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not know all of that about you. I didn't.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm very impressed because the type of work that you've done from the age of 9. You are literally being used by Allah in the best way. Right. So praise.
Right, think about that.
To Allah.
And as we get ready to give this poem to our brother, all you parents who are out there listening, now let's just keep it 100 for a minute. Don't be afraid to expose your young boys and girls at a young age to the things that can lead them on to do great work. And when our brother's putting in that kind of work, dear brother Rizza Islam, we want to welcome you to the 7th Region Coalition Thursday Night Talk, dear brother. Welcome. So don't believe the hype. Introduce yourself to our family, there, brother. Anything you'd like to say at this particular moment?
Man, all I can say is all praises due to Allah for the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and for all of the believers doing the work, whether if they call themselves Muslim or not, whether they say they are in the nation or not. Anyone who is doing the work to help uplift our people, to bring them freedom, justice, and equality. They are my brother, my sister, our brother, and our sister. So I'm just thankful. I don't have nothing else to add to that. I'm just
right.
I want to get straight into the work, brother.
Now you've been on this platform before, brother. You just didn't know you were on this platform before, because some of you might not remember this, brother, when he helped expose. I believe it was in Washington, D.C., where they were going to allow our children to be vaccinated without the permission of their parents.
That's right.
That was our brother who brought that to light, and many other things to light. But let's just take the family back for a minute. You know, tell us about your upbringing and your growing up, and you know, we know you're from Compton, and just tell us about your life growing up there, brother. Let's start there.
Man, the 7th region is the hip hop region. That's a fact. That's a fact. Y'all the hip hop region, man. I thought it was just Brother Tony. Oh man, I got to call Brother 2 Minutes of Patrick. Y'all are the hip hop region. I will say definitely born and raised, youngest of 10 children, and I was raised in the mosque up to a certain age at Mosque 54. Of course, I wasn't registered because I was a very young child, couldn't write a letter or anything of that nature, but I was attending Mosque 54 up until a certain period of time. And my mother and my stepfather are the ones who brought us into Islam. So I was literally born with the last name Islam. And our family's last name was Islam. So we are a Black family in Compton with the last name Islam. Never got sick, never took shots, and we were known as the Muslim family in the hood. That's what it was. All right. So, and everything you can imagine, from, gang banging, being around drugs, police sirens, all of the regular standard things that we don't like to be stereotypical, but just so happened to be accurate in this case, was the norm. This is something that I witnessed early. My older brother, who he was taken out by someone over a drug deal. That was my oldest brother named Mustafa. My oldest sister, she was on crack cocaine for nearly 16 years on Skid Row. And thankfully to Allah, she made it out and she's healthy and doing very well now. My mother was on drugs. Some of my other siblings had issues with drugs, etc. So this was normal. This is how I was raised. This was the environment. This was the circumstance and the condition. And it wasn't until I would say my early teens and right out of my adolescence is when I was getting help on homework, and I was going to a program to help me with my reading, my math, etc. And that is where I found the connection with my passion and my purpose around the age of 8 or 9 years old. And that's where sister was reading in the Bible where it says my career started at 9, because that is where I came into contact with what it was that made my heart feel fulfilled, which was helping our people in the area of literacy, in the area of drug education and rehabilitation, in the area of rebuilding families, you name it. And then, of course, it expanded into all of the other areas that she went over. So I would just say in a nutshell, that's pretty much what it was, so very real life that a lot of people, they hear about when they hear Compton or Watts, LA, Philly, they hear these things, but most of us really went through these things.
Right.
It's very real. It's not exaggerated. It's not something that was made up. It is a very real reality, and I experienced it myself.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Wow. Okay. Anybody can go next. Anybody can go next.
No.
Oh, we here now.
So look, so Rizza. Now, my thing is, when you're talking about the age of 9.
Yeah.
Age of 9. My daughter is 7. She'll be 8 next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
She is not in no course study, or she's not over grown-ups teaching them, the adolescence of education.
Mm-hmm.
So can you kind of go over what it means when you're saying that you were actually a facilitator of an actual classroom? Can you kind of go into detail in regards to that at the age of 9?
At the age of 9. Oh man. Yeah, when I tell people this, they normally, of course, they laugh, because I start with saying, well, yeah, I smoked and drank before I was 10 years old. And they'll be like, what?
Like, wait a minute.
What do you mean? And they'll say, wait, so when did you start smoking and drinking? And I said 8. They're like, what? They said, when did you end? I said 9. And I'm serious. That's really how it happened. So, so I just want to let you know. So basically, I said all that to say, we can do a lot of things at a young age if we put our mind to it.
Absolutely.
A lot of things. It just depends on the environment and what type of upbringing you have. Because if you put a child in a mental position or an environmental state where they have to learn how to do something, whether it is good or bad, they will, if you give them the needed information, the environment to allow them to access and apply that information. So we do it when it comes to smoking and drinking. We learn how to shoot guns. We learn how to rob and steal and do all this stuff at a very young age. I learned all of that stuff when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. So if I can learn how to do negative things, then I can absolutely learn how to do positive things. Absolutely. So by the time I turned 9 years old, I had a lot of experiences that pushed me in the environment of adults and adulthood, you can say. So I was exposed to a lot of things that a child should not be exposed to. So by the time I was brought to this program where they were working with adults and children on drug education, drug rehabilitation, on literacy skills, on parenting skills, on communication skills, on morals and ethics, and all these different things, I was there to get help on my homework. But again, the level of experience that I already had allowed my mind to access certain levels of information and have a level of maturity to understand things, to talk about things, and to apply certain things. So at 9 years old, I was getting help on math and reading. I did not like school. I was one of those fast talking, bad as hell little boys. All right,
one of them.
You know that child that's in the neighborhood. Like, where's your parents at? Where your mom at? That was me. Oh, it was terrible. Oh man, I would curse people out for no reason. I would call you out your name. I'm telling you, listen, hey, Allah's God. All right, that's all I gotta say. Allah's God for real. So getting help on this homework and everything was one step, but the supervisor at the time, his name was Manuel, good friend of mine. I'll never forget him. He walked up to me and he said, Reza, we have a student. She's working on phonics, but her tutor didn't show up. Do you mind helping her out? Now, I had never been asked to do something positive. All right. My brothers was like, hey, Reza, show them that crip walk. And they taught me how to crip walk at 5 and 6. So I used to always do that. And they would go steal this and go take this hubcap off this car. I was used to doing things for validation that were negative at a very young age. But to do something positive, that's not something I was really introduced to at that age. So I was asked at this moment, can you help this little girl with her phonics? So I said, all right, I'll try it out. So I walked over to the other table and it was a flip chart that had instructions on this side and they had big letters and numbers on the other side. And so I'm going through this with her. And by the time we finished, they said, okay, everyone, it's 6 o'clock. Let's pack up everything. Good job, everyone. And this little girl, 6 years old, I'll never forget this girl. She looked up at me and she said, thank you. You really helped me. Wow. And that hit me, Brother Tony. I'm telling you, listen, man, look, this right here, you can change a child by giving them something positive to do.
That's right.
And watching it manifest inside of their spirit. You watch it and you acknowledge them for doing something positive. That changed me in a way where I had never felt such validation for doing something positive. I was actually nervous, to be honest. I was nervous because I don't know what this feeling was. I'm looking around like, what do you mean I help you? I don't understand. Like I didn't steal nothing. Like I didn't, like
right. The normal,
right? Seriously. I didn't do anything like this, but you saying I helped you. And she said, yeah, you really helped me. Thank you so much. Little 6-year-old girl, and I'm 9 years old. So the next day, I went back to the program, finished my homework early, and I said, hey, y'all, look, y'all need some help. I'm right over here. Let me know. So whatever we validate in the child is what they will perpetuate.
That's right.
Whatever we validate in them.
That's right.
That's what I went through myself. So that, Sister Cleela, I will say is the thing, is to place your child in an environment and give them a task to do, something very simple. And when they complete it, acknowledge them and validate them. That spiritual energy expands their reach for life. It makes them feel that things are possible and they can do these things. But remember, we're always used to being invalidated as children. Sit down, shut up, don't do that, don't touch this. What all we're trying to do is learn. We just want to learn. So I, if you put a child in the proper environment, you give them certain instructions and you let them apply it and just watch them do it and validate them for it, you'll see your child is far more capable of things bigger than what you even imagine.
Beautiful.
If I may ask a question, just following up with that, what other factors, what other intervention did you experience to help foster the change in you, Brother Reza? Of course, I mean, just like oftentimes it just needs a person that cares about us to intervene.
Right.
And that sets off as a catalyst to our own development.
I will say caring and loving parents or guardians. Now, as I was saying, invalidating a child for simply asking questions,
right,
or reaching for things physically or mentally, for being inquisitive, to want to learn, to want to access thoughts, you should not invalidate them because you kill them spiritually. So you turn that positive momentum into a negative. So if you're not going to let me do it this way, I'm going to do it that way. This is how it is. Every inner city community, this is how it goes with children. They want to do something positive. They want your attention. They want our validation. They want us to love them. Real simple. And if we throw them down, we say, shut up, sit down. Ain't nobody trying to watch all that. Go sit down. You're doing too much. All of that. Then they're going to get validated for doing something.
Right.
They will go to the streets. They'll get validated there. We will get you will get your attention somewhere. You'll get love somewhere. And as a parent, we have to be responsible enough to understand that whatever we put on that child is what will develop. It is a seed that will develop later on. And we can't, since we can't wholeheartedly blame the system, because we're part of their upbringing too. So accountability has to be taken on both sides. The system is already ready to take them where they want to take them.
Right.
We already know how this system works. But as the parent or the guardian, it has to be, you have to be very careful, because what we say to children does matter.
That's
everything we say and do does matter. So I would say it was my mother, Brother Tony, who just kind of grabbed me before things got too bad, because I did have, early experience with things, like I said, with seeing, weed and alcohol and stealing hubcaps and, taking bikes. I had all that when I was real young, but she snatched me before it got, too crazy, and brought me to that program and said, you're going to get your help here, helping your homework. We're not going, you ain't going out there. I'm not going to let you be like everybody else. So it was my mother with that love she had for me, and everyone else that she surrounded me with after that.
Listen to this, parents. I hope you're listening right now, parents, because the brother you're listening to, by the way, Sister Michelle, did you add child development specialist to the list? Right down the bottom of the bio there, child development specialist, right to the list. This is the brother who speaks truth to power, that they don't want to have an audience.
Right.
And I want us to keep that in mind.
Right.
Because when our brother just shared with us from his upbringing and the soul of him becoming who Allah already intended him to be, he's a servant for our people, and we should be there to support such a great, great servant. Sister Michelle, I know you want to jump into this fray, man.
Yeah, yes, please, because I got this. I got this one here. You are one of the twinkling in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's eyes. How did that come to be? I mean, I can see it. How did that come to be, Brother Rizzo?
Oh, wow. I can honestly say I don't know. When you do the work sincerely from your heart, as the minister says, in the shock of the hour, he said, to be sincere wrong is to be dead right.
That's right.
A lot of people do things with improper motives.
Right.
And they seek attention and validation while having the wrong motive, and they get the wrong result and outcome. And doing the work that Allah blessed me to do, as he blesses all of us to do our work in whatever area or capacity that he gives us, it was from and still is from a pure place. It has no other motive. It's not money motivated. It's not fame motivated. It's simply, I see what was done when I was a child to help our people, and I'm addicted to that. That's it. And we're all going to be seen for the work that we do, whether if it is now or when we stand before our book, and at the end of our time. So the minister, what he told me the first time I met the minister in 2015, as you said, sister, when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was brought to me, and then I called Mr. Tony and I set up the meeting, and then he came there and just dropped everything. Him, Dr. Brian Hooker. I mean, it was negatively phenomenal to see how much evil and wickedness is actually happening today in modern time, that Tuskegee is like a kindergarten playground compared to. So as a result of that, the minister said, who is the brother that set this up, is what he asked to Minister Tony, who is now Minister Abdul Malik Saeed Muhammad. And he said it was Brother Reza Islam. He said, well, bring that brother with you. And when we sat at his table, he, first of all, I don't get starstruck. Okay.
Come on,
You look been with a lot of stars, brother. So I know.
I'm telling you, as Allah's my witness, I don't get, oh my God, this is, outside of like Michael Jackson. Okay, now let's see. All right, forever Michael Jackson, all day.
Look, Brother Rich, I already know what time it is about Michael Jackson and you.
Look, come on, okay. See, y'all know. I know y'all know.
I know.
Man, so I don't get go crazy over people who are celebrities. I admire them for their talent, etc. But this man here, when I was in the presence of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who I tell the whole world is the embodiment of all of the prophets.
Yes, sir.
All of them.
Yes, sir.
And I will defend that until the day Allah calls me home. All day. I was at the end of the table. I want y'all to understand, I was physically far away from the minister, but I felt the heat emanating from him.
Wow.
I felt this. And I'm listening to what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is saying to him. I'm listening to Barry Siegel, the billionaire, what is he saying? And everyone's saying to him. And after all of that, he said, Brother Reza, he looked over and I'm like, almost in tears. I'm shocked. I'm like, I don't know what to say. He said, brother, Allah has truly blessed you to do something great. And I'm like, I was just doing the work. You know, I'm
right.
It's not I'm going to do this because I know I'm going to be able to see this. It's not that. I'm just doing the work. And to see him say that the first time blew my mind, but it also helped me to understand what responsibility we have.
Purpose.
Right.
Purpose.
Right.
We would like to bask in the benefit and the beauty and all of that, but sometimes we don't look at the opposite, which is the responsibility side of this and what it comes with.
Right.
It comes with a lot, because as of now, the consistency of the work that we do is what will show what our true character is.
That's right.
So as you asked the question, sister, regarding, how did that come about? How do you think, why, when it comes to the minister and how he sees me? I would just say it's just how Allah blessed me and us to do the work that we do in a manner that is unapologetic, in a manner where if Satan were to have a gun put to my head or a few guns put to my head and threaten me with torture, threaten me with the loss of my life, the loss of property, the loss of family, the loss of everything, and he would say, denounce Minister Farrakhan, or else, and I'll say, or else.
That's right. That's right.
That is what a leader looks for, because he has to know, are you sincerely with the mission, or are you for yourself? Is it about you, or is it about the mission? And it is always, and I pray to Allah that it will always be about this mission. And I don't know if that's what he saw, but from the words that he told me, I believe so.
I wanted to add this, when we actually had the platform, our last Savior's Day via Zoom, and you were presenting, if you actually saw the look and the comfort and the security that the minister had on his face when you were presenting, Brother Rizza, it was like that. He used this term, when will my help come? And you were part of his help.
That's right.
So he will be so pleased to Allah to present you as one of the disciples of this everlasting and continuous growth of the Nation of Islam. And he even mentioned, he was like, look at that brother. Ain't that brother handsome too? Brother Rizza, I promise you, I thought you was going to roll over and just pass out when you
I almost ran out the building, but I was frozen. I couldn't get up.
I know. I saw you. I was like, look at Brother Rizza.
So, brother, with this work now, you've amassed quite a following. And just, if you could just walk us through some of the major issues that you have tackled and helped bring to light to the masses of our people, and if you could just share, some of those struggles that made you public enemy #1 in social media. In other words, building up platforms and having them taken away. But what particular issues launched you into that light, brother?
Wow.
Absolutely. I would say the first thing is the 2016 unity of the Bloods, Crips, and the Truce of the LAPD. That one in particularly is what catapulted my Instagram and my Twitter page, because I was there on behalf of Minister Abdul Malik Saeed Muhammad. He was handling another issue in another part of California, and he asked me to be there to facilitate the discussing of the peace agreement between the mayor, the police chief at the time, which was Chief Charlie Beck, myself, Snoop, the Game, and the rapper Problem. We were all in the chambers of the mayor, and that is what happened there. I kind of tore into the mayor and the police chief a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Which is interesting. In a righteous way, of course, not aggressively, but just letting them know that, if you truly want to call a truce between the LAPD, your men, and the people, then you must honor that word, right. Because you will not be able to call the nation to get the people off of you if you violate your word. This is that's one of the things I mentioned to the mayor and police chief. But that was the main thing. First off, in 2016, we had the United Hood Nations event in 2016, where over 2,000 people came together. There were Bloods, Crips, there were the Moorish Science Temple, there was a New Black Panther Party, there were Christian churches, there was a Nation of Islam, there was the 5%ers, Nation of Gods and Earths who were in the building. There were some of the Mexican gangs, Native American and tribal gangs, believe it or not, or you could just say tribes, were in there. And it was a demonstration so beautiful that showed the unity between so many different groups that normally are at each other's throats.
Right.
Normally. And of course, the LAPD was in the building too. And so it was demonstrating unity in a way that possibly hadn't been seen since the 1992 peace treaty that was called between the Bloods and Crips, and how the minister and the nation facilitated that as well. So it went throughout the world. A picture with myself, the Game, and Snoop went throughout all the different mainstream sources. The press conference where myself, Snoop, and the mayor and police chief of LA, all of that was on mainstream media and was seen by tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people. So that skyrocketed to my network first. And then after that, all the work that I was doing after that, the general education, the educating people about the shots, I was doing that prior to that circumstance. So this is regarding MMR way back then. Yes. So that also added to it. And then aside from that, it was, let me see. Oh man, I was sent to meet with the minister, I think 3 times year after year. It was 2016, 2017, 2018, 2015, because of certain actions that Allah blessed me to do that were impacting the people on a massive scale every year. And he was just like, this brother, Allah is putting you in the right place at the right time every time to do such beautiful work to deliver the dead. And I would say that's how each one of those pieces, and there are plenty more after that. That's when, of course, certain celebrities and artists and people were reaching out to me with me, and I was educating them as I do now, mentoring them when it comes to, a lot of these celebrities, they have a lot of money, but not too many brains. They just don't.
Good point.
They don't. They're very rich and ignorant. But they want someone to teach them now. And so there's a lot of these artists and celebrities who, behind closed doors, your brother has been blessed to teach them and educate them, and also facilitate connecting them to the minister, because that is the ultimate teaching itself. Okay, is to connect them to the minister. So definitely, I would say after all that, then of course just remaining consistent. So it has blown up over and over and over again since then.
I have a question for Brother Reza. You wrote a book on called "Message to the Grassroots," not to the grassroots. Excuse me, "Message to the Millennium." To the millennium.
Yes, sir.
I was thinking about Malcolm X.
Well, that is the grassroots.
It is. And particularly with the older generation, there have been some issues trying to close the gap between the important issues out there plaguing our people and their mindset. But you have a particular way that you speak to the millennials that captures their attention and gets them to move. What would you say is the key to capture the minds and the attentions of what's generally called the millennials?
Great question.
Yeah.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that there are two major principles of leadership if you want to be a successful leader. He said, number one is humility.
Come on.
He said, number two is love.
Come on.
The two primary principal factors, senior factors, if you want to be an effective leader. So I've used those two and marry them with a colloquial way of speaking to this generation, meaning you use the words that are within the lingo of today's discussion. How we talk in this generation is a little different.
Right.
I keep that flavor with this generation so that they don't look at you sideways and then you grab them from where they are and you bring them up into where they need to be. So that's I just make sure that I make things real to them in their language, in our language, and then bring them up to the higher levels of language, because we have been removed from our higher levels of thinking, higher levels of education, higher levels of scientific ability. So it has to be brought from where they are up to where we're supposed to be in stages and degrees, as the messenger has taught us to do. So it's really how we talk to each other. To be honest with you, it's certain times I had to be, like, for example, the interview that I just did a couple weeks ago on Big Facts. It's a major show on Revolt TV that just aired yesterday. And one of the brothers on there, one of the co-hosts, was rolling up a blunt. He was rolling up a joint right there.
Oh my God. Dang.
Oh.
I hide nothing from you, brother.
Hey. Look, some people will be like, nigga, you out your damn mind.
Right.
But you have to be able to go to them where they are, meet them where they are. This is the real definition of love. Are we able to sit there with our brother while he's shooting dice, he drinking, he urinated on himself? Are we able to really be there with that person and speak to the God in him or her without judgment? Can we do that really? If you can do that, then they see that you love them, they feel that you love them, and they don't feel like you're judging them, and then they will be receptive to hearing what you have to say and possibly doing what you ask of them to do. But it has to come through a demonstration. This generation is more about the show me than the talk.
Right. That's right.
It's that show me generation. I need to show me, bro. Stop all the talking. Just show me. And so that's the other thing. I do more demonstrating, walking, as we're taught, walk our post in a perfect manner, keeping always on the alert. They see we walk.
So on that note, dear brother, it's hard to keep on alert with you on social media, brother, because you're here one minute and you're gone the next, and then we find you here and then we can't find you there, brother. So we want to do two things because of that, brother. One of those things is we gotta let you know, because we want people to know throughout this conversation how they can be in touch with you and how they can find you. But brother, we want to open up the floor. What do the people need to know, man, that you keep getting kicked off all these platforms for there, brother?
On the Instagram pages, brother.
Right. What's going on?
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you, the minister said in part 29, I believe, of The Time and What Must Be Done, which is titled The Universal Snooper. He titled that very specifically, as he always does what he does, strategically, and he does not speak idle words.
Come on.
In that Time and What Must Be Done broadcast, he went over how the enemy is constantly seeking to curtail, cut off, and shut down the voices of God or the voices of truth that are coming through social media, coming through mainstream media, in an attempt to get to the people, because we already know the ultimate aim of Satan is to kill the messenger of God.
Right.
So that includes those who follow him.
Come on.
So we have to really understand it's not just that one, it's who you represent. If you were my disciples, my enemy would become yours.
That's right.
So the ADL now has Brother Riz Islam on their list.
On front page.
Right.
Okay,
that means you did some good work, brother.
I was going to say,
that's called work.
Hey, I'm like, okay, so So that's whose enemies are they? The minister.
The minister's enemies. That's right.
So if they are now recognizing us, and then they put the 9 other members of the nation recently, they just added, I believe 2 months ago now, 9 more people, and they said, look out for these people after the minister departs. They're very wickedly wise how they move. So what I'm being taken off for, they have declared me to be an anti-Semitic, their classic lie, anti-Semitic, anti-LGBTQ, anti-vaccination. They call me an anti-vaxxer. They say conspiracy theorist, bigot, hate teaching extremist. These are all the labels I've been given.
Right. And of course, all of y'all, you've been listening to all of those things take place here as our brothers been with us this, right? Or you've been hearing the complete opposite.
Absolutely.
So these are the things. So anything dealing with exposing Satan is what I'm being taken off for. Anything exposing his agenda is what we are being taken off for. They took the minister off first, which let me know they're going to take all of us down if we are loud enough. They're going to take each and every one of us down. I already knew that. So I was striving for them to come after my network. I was striving for that because I need to make sure you know that I follow this man. I don't want it to be questioned. You need to know who I follow. As a matter of fact, you need to know not only is he not just a man, he is a mentality.
Oh,
go ahead, brother.
Come on.
The mic just dropped. Did y'all just hear that?
You got to break that down.
Did y'all just hold on? Did y'all just hear that?
Sometimes you got to break that. You got to break that down. When you say he is a mentality,
he's a mentality. This is why they give you the Farrakhan litmus test to see if you are a part of that mentality or not. We just got to see. Have you been infected with this mentality? Are you a part of his camp? Do you follow what he said? This is why when you're dealing with the word Farrakhan or Al-Furqan, I believe chapter 19 of the Holy Quran is Al-Furqan. Correct me if I'm wrong, please.
That would
chapter
be
19 is Maryam.
Maryam, thank you. Wait, so
20
Furqan.
27.
It is not 19, brother.
Yeah, we already know that.
That is right.
The 25th surah.
25th, thank you. And Maryam is 19. Ooh, that's a basic. We should know that.
Listen, we you know we the
yes,
squad
or
whatever, brother.
Your brothers and sisters. So yeah, we are. So in that chapter, it is titled Al-Furqan, or the discrimination. So the discrimination or the criterion, which means you have a standard that lets you know which side something is on, right or left, good or bad, positive or negative. If you want the world of Satan to be completely clear about who you and I are, then we have to be seen doing the work that makes it clear who we belong to. And that will let them know who you belong to, not just what we wear. Okay, we wear the bow ties, clean shaven, they know Nation of Islam. They already got it. We know you belong to that group. But let's really see if you belong to that group. Let's see how
what's the inside.
Let's see what you're doing. What is your substance? Not just what you're wearing. What are you doing? And that will let us know. So that's how you break down the understanding, is not just what you wear, but what are you embodying when your character is being demonstrated? Are you coming after Satan? Are you exposing to the world what Satan is doing? Are you letting them know that the minister done already said it over and over again? Are you letting them know that this man has exposed Satan time and time again, over and over again? Prior to him, the messenger did it. 1961, don't take the polio shot. Boom, all the way back there. Are you exposing this? Because they need to know, seeing how their world is going down.
Right.
So that's I would say, that's the demonstration to show that it's a mentality. He is a mentality. So when he departs physically, he's not going to die spiritually. The energy does not die. Right. But the physical body will go somewhere else. And the minister's been telling us this for so long, but they are looking to see who is going to carry on the truth that is being spoken and the commission of bringing the Lamb of God to who we know to be the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, or the Christ today. We have to understand this. Like, it's very deep, and I'm very passionate about it because Satan is on the move, and we need to understand that. It's not going to change, so when he departs, are we still with this, or are we just talking? Because once it happens, Satan is going to unleash on all of us, and then that's when the test is really going to come down.
I'm gonna, if I can make a comment very quickly. Brother Reza, what that reminds me of is the COINTELPRO papers and what was said about the Nation of Islam, because in the language that's right there on that ADL page,
come on,
with you and Dr. Wesley and Elia Rashad,
my charger. Continue, brother. I'm grabbing my charger here.
Yes, sir. But with all the many others that are mentioned on that page, it's like this is the leadership that's going to be around after the minister departs. They're the ones that we should be looking out for. And so it was likewise back in the 60s and the 70s.
Right.
That's how they did us.
Right.
And our enemy was scoping us out during that time to attempt to instill a change in the Nation of Islam. But here we are, because of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Come on.
Stood up. And here we are doing the work to liberate the minds of our people. So, Brother Rizza.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, my brother. Yeah. Thank you for
the. Yeah, but Brother Rizza, you also have another gift. I just want to drop in here. You have another gift, dear brother, that expands outside of our membership. For example, we're building a coalition.
Right.
And in that coalition, there are many individuals who are not necessarily members of the Nation of Islam or would even call themselves Muslim. They call them. But you have found a way, brother, to bridge many gaps between many different people of different walks and different faiths. Can you speak to that for a minute?
The minister said, Minister Farrakhan said, we should argue over religion after we're free.
Well, something happened to my headphone real quick. Did you just say, my brother? I missed that.
Whoa. Wow.
I take these words to heart because they are so simple. It's just so simple. Argue over religion after we're free. What are we arguing about?
Right.
I mean, we don't own enough land. We don't have enough schools, enough banks, enough grocery stores, enough transportation systems, enough anything to really be arguing over nothing. I don't understand.
Right.
It was so simple when he said that. And he said it multiple times, but that helps me to remove the religious dogmatic teaching that, a lot of that we confront when we're out there with our people, whether they're Christian, if they're Hebrew Israelite, they're Moor, whatever, they come at us with this dogmatic teaching. Don't question what we say. We are the keepers of the ultimate truth and blah, blah. Okay, whatever. The enemy considers you a nigga.
Period.
All of us. All of the above.
Right?
So, right now.
If I know that, and if you know that, then maybe we need to evolve beyond these labels and look at the overall understanding, which is we all want to survive. We are all a part of the original people in the original family, whatever name you want to call it, that's fine. But all of that is us. Whether you Nawabian, Pan-Africanist, if you are a Panther, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, if you are a Moor, if you are Nation of Gods and Earth, if you're Nation of Islam, if you're Muslim, whatever, that's us.
Right.
Period. And that's the
denominator.
I believe it was at the eulogy, I believe, when the minister was speaking at the funeral of Brother Baba Dick Gregory. And he talked about, he said, I am a Catholic. This blew everybody's mind.
Right.
It was like, what the heck? This man is crazy. Like, he crazy. Yep, he lost it. So he said, I'm a Catholic, which the basis of Catholic means universal.
Right.
He said, I'm a Catholic. He said, I am a Baptist. He said, I am a Christian. I am a Muslim. I am a Hebrew. He said all this. And the people are already looking at him like, what's going on? And he said, if you understand the root of a thing, you can connect all the branches.
That's right. That's right.
I hate division.
Come on.
I personally hate it. I have a hatred of certain things, and division is one of those things that I hate, because if we argue, for example, if the organs we have in our body were game banging on each other like we game bang on each other, all of us will be dead.
That's right.
That's facts.
Exactly.
That's facts.
It's just that simple. So I keep that mentality of looking at how to understand your language, brother, to the question that you're asking. How am I able to do that? I step out of the mentality of what we have is the only thing we need to study, meaning the only books specifically. These are the only books that we need to be studying. Right? These are the primary. We do need to be studying these. Don't get me
Right.
Don't ever get that twisted. Study them all. Okay?
Right.
That's the first thing. This is our foundational knowledge. And then the minister said there is, however, complementary knowledge that we need to learn.
That's right.
If we have to get our people, then we must know how to speak to them. I must know how to speak your language. If you're a Hebrew, I must know how to say shalom. As Brother Tony opened up with, he gave a greeting in at least 7 different areas.
Right.
Right.
Just that opening right there short circuits anybody who's stuck on division. They're like, did he just greet me?
We gotta make the connection, brother.
That brother said Baragani. What?
Baragani.
When he said Black Power, he said Shalom. He said Islam. Whoa, hold up.
Right.
Hey, that messes people up, and brothers, I do it at every event. Be messing him up. Again, that's how it's supposed to be. We have to learn the language, and we have to be humble enough to realize that there are things that we need to learn. Even if the most honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't say it himself, he did say that we are to master the science and knowledge of everything.
Right. That takes a minute to do that too, huh? That takes a minute.
It does. But Brother Rizza, you made a very perfect point about knowledge. And I want you to definitely go into the tool that the minister strongly suggested that everyone that's in the Nation of Islam to study, and that's Dianetics. I want you to explain why it's so important, first of all, that each person knows about this technology, knows about this tool, and how it saves lives on a mental as well as a physical level.
Absolutely. I'll say this first thing is, I have studied Dianetics for over 15 years.
Wow.
First thing. And I let a lot of people know this because there's a stigma around that. And I just laugh at people because it's like, so y'all went to school and were all your teachers Black?
Right.
I just want to know real quick.
Right.
Even the Black ones, right? Even the Black ones are all Black, really?
I just want to know. I'm like, dang, every book you read was a Black author. Like we don't even read. We get stuck on this, and it's real sad. It's like, oh, the overly Black. No, you ain't really about this Black life, because a person who is sincerely about it is an intelligent person who studies everything, including your enemy.
That's right.
You study, as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, study the white man. He is successful, and he makes no excuses for his failures.
That's right.
And he's mainly successful because of what he did to us, but he's still successful.
Right.
So we got to study him. Now, on that part, I'll say this: Dianetics, for those who may not know, the first page of the book Dianetics, there's a quote by L. Ron Hubbard. Yes, the L. Ron Hubbard, because by the way, they're going to take this and piece it up on YouTube, and I welcome you to do that. Of course, as they should. That's why I love it, because
we're ready for them. We're ready for them.
You already know we got to teach. So the first page, it's goes over a quote from L. Ron Hubbard where he says, "This is a study of over 50,000 years of thinking men upon which Dianetics and Scientology could not be possible. The credit is theirs, not mine."
That's right.
Extremely critical to know this. He gave credit to who? The Caucasian is not older than 6,100 years old.
That, brother.
Come on.
So he said the credit is theirs of 50,000 years of thinking men. The only people on the planet 50,000 years ago was the original man and woman.
Come on.
So he gave credit to us. I got this from y'all. That's point number one. I wanted to put this in full context, so now you can go into it with the right B attitude mentality.
Right.
After you look at that part, and everyone should just get the book so you can read it for yourself.
Please.
But it goes over, the word Dianetics means the study of the mind, or through the mind, or through the soul.
Right.
And it's looking at from a non-psychiatric perspective, a non-psychological necessarily perspective, a non-hypnotic perspective. It's going around all of those abusive ways of looking at the mind, and it's going straight into looking at the pictures that have been collected in the mind, the trauma, how it's stored, all of the sensations you feel, from the smell to everything around you during the time, to the taste, to the touch, to the position of your body, to who said what, how they said it. Was it raining? Was the TV on? All of these things are recorded and stored in our mind. And we have to know how to access them and how to remove them if they're negative, or how to enhance them if they're positive. Dianetics is very scientific. And again, L. Ron Hubbard gave the credit to this to the original people.
Right.
So I want to know that. I want to know all about that. And that is a tool that the minister said we should study. And he's told us to study plenty of things. And it's not just Dianetics he's talking about study. But this is one that he specifically also mentioned we should definitely study that. And so I have definitely studied it, as I said, for over 15 years with great success. It has helped me to navigate, as you were asking earlier, when it comes to communicating with our people. It's also helped me to look at the mentality of our people, what to look for. You call them trigger words, right? Some of our people call them trigger words.
Right.
We know them as re-stimulators, or it can be parts of demons in spiritual language. We have to know the languages so how we can communicate and understand how to break things down so that we don't negatively affect our people. It helps you to know how to approach. It helps you to know how to look for certain things. A person who generalizes things on a consistent basis is someone who has had a negative circumstance at least one or more times with that thing. Somebody who says, man, I don't do eggs, man, because I got sick one time eating eggs. So that means all the eggs in the world are bad.
Right.
It's not logical, not even close, but because they connect that one egg, all eggs equals all eggs. It's called A equals A equals A in that book. It is very, very, very logical, scientific ways of breaking down spiritual understandings, mental characteristics, and how you can get through them, overcome them, clean them up so that a person can get back to who they are before they were bombarded with all the trauma, as all of us need some help with our mind on the planet, especially Black people. So I just want to make that, correct all that. So
definitely like a prescription for the day to me.
I was gonna say. Now listen, I'm always the guiding ship here. I always try to help land the plane.
That's just the Khalila's job, but
it's always my job.
I've known her for that, but now I know you for that.
I just follow my sister's lead. Now, I got a closing question for you, and then we can take this, how we want to do this as we move forward with the program. But this is 3 questions, I guess. Here, let's try to put them all into one.
Right.
Right. So the last question is, what does the future look like for Brother Rizza Islam?
Okay.
That's 1. And your endeavors. That's 2. And how can we, as the audience, continue to follow you in your progress? 3 questions. There you go.
Excellent.
Very good question. The future, I would say, is whatever Allah deems fit for it to be. To be honest, because we plan and Allah plans, and we know that Allah is the best planners. So I can say, I can say, I say I'm gonna save this many people and get this many people jobs and help this many people to recognize their rights and not have to be forced to take this poison that the minister has heavily encouraged us to educate the people about, or the millionaire. I could say all that, and I do want those things, of course. That's right. Oh, that passed. Y'all still got more copies? Man, we done passed all.
Look, this is. I'm trying to keep this as a keepsake. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, that thing. Ooh, the enemy is mad about that. That thing ain't a joke. So I would say it is whatever Allah wants it to be, and what I'm seeing is more expansion, helping more people, getting the knowledge, information, and the solutions to more people, wider audiences. I'm seeing that, and I'm submitting to it. So inshallah, that is what it will be. It's just more work, helping more people, saving more lives, inshallah, God willing. That's what I believe Allah wants it to be. And the second question again, because I heard it run into the first. So what was the second question one more time?
It was just and your endeavors. And then the last question was, how can we as an audience continue to follow and follow your progression, things that you're doing?
Yes, brother Rizza, before you answer the question, Sister Michelle, Brother Lyle, Sister Kalila, I need to get off and go to another broadcast.
Brother Tony, work.
For everyone.
Brother Tony, tell us what your broadcast is, because this is the first party. We're going to the second party after this.
That's right.
Following right after this broadcast right here. Please go to Nuestra NOI. You could also go to Closing the Gap. We're on Facebook and YouTube. We're going to have a discussion with some of our quote-unquote or so-called Latina sisters who have registered in the Nation of Islam, discussing their experience and how in the Nation of Islam and how Islam has benefited their lives. So I encourage everyone to just come and check us out. Nuestra NOI, also on Closing the Gap, and we're going to be on other platforms as well.
And what time?
That's in 20 minutes.
All right,
20 minutes.
8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central Standard Time.
All right. So we'll be in the place.
We'll be there as soon as we're done.
There you go.
Come on through.
Doing the work.
Brother Tony. And with that, Brother Rizza, where can we find you, brother, this week? And then let us know where we might be able to find you next week, because we know by the time you get to next week, you might be knocked out or whatever you want this week, brother. Where can the people find you, brother?
Hey, Brother Lyle, I seen Brother Rizza in the airport. He was like, hey, I need y'all to know they might be setting me down in a couple of 5 by 10 minutes. I need y'all to tune in, like and share, tune in right now. I said, this brother is in the airport saying like and share. I got to give you this real jewel. I just found this.
And word is bond, Sister Kalila, they did about 10 minutes after that. Word is bond. We got to learn our enemy, right? So I'll just say, when it comes to the future endeavors and all the work, you want to stay connected on our Intellectual Extremist Telegram research group. So the group that I have is called the Intellectual Extremists. Since they called your brother an extremist, I'll wear that. I'll take that.
Come on.
It's from an intellectual perspective. So if you are an intellectual extremist, I want y'all to comment, let the people know. A lot of them are here. I put in the group. And so
yes, you did. All over. They're like, hey, I am.
That's right. So that's one. And two, I would say my Instagram for now is Intellectual Extremist, as you see right there. So for now, it's no telling when that'll be shut down. Put that there. You also want to subscribe to RizaIslam.com, because that's where what's almost here. We're launching everything on there. There's going to be a channel, TV channel in there, podcast in there, everything. I'll be doing it from a website, because you can't, they can't take it down unless they try to hack it. But it's out.
Awesome, man.
Absolutely.
Journey,
look, this is a known fight. I got to give my known fact about Brother Rizza. A lot of people do not know that Brother Rizza is a master dancer.
Oh, here we go.
Miss Kalila, wait a minute. My headphone went out again. Sis Kalila, you know how my headphone does. Did you say, Sis Kalila? You said that, brother.
This brother can do every dance known to man.
Is this true, Brother Rizza? Is this true?
You know what? Now I gotta call my sister. All right, you gotta be right exact, sis. Now I love the love now, because I'm gonna have somebody here trying to challenge me to some kind of foreign language.
Look, brother, we'll down, but I got my money on you, brother.
Praise you to Allah. I can learn any dance. I will say that. I will absolutely, be able to learn. But I've been dancing for a long time, since I was 5 years old. And so everything from foxtrot, merengue, waltz, salsa, crump, hip hop, tap, modern ballet. I've been training most of those. So yes, that's a lot that y'all haven't seen yet. Y'all might.
Well, I'm telling
to do it.
Me and Brother Rizza, it was one night that we danced the night away.
Yes,
man. We had a MGTFOI Nation of Islam ball.
That's right.
And I'm letting y'all know that Muslims, we party too.
For real. That's a fact.
We party too. So don't get it twisted. Just because we had the headpieces and the bow ties and
Come on.
We love to have fun.
That's
and
a
with
fact.
that being said, we want to also add, because we have what we call a tree of the week, right?
Got to get people
Brother
something
Rizzo.
every week, Brother Rizzo. Got to
So our tree of the week is laughter, right?
This week is laughter.
It's laughter.
Right.
And
put that in your medicine cabinet.
Yes, because keep in mind, as we talk about this year and it's unfolding, and it's been so much death, so much sadness, so much the government or somebody's taking my house or somebody's taking my property. I lost my job because I won't get the vaccination, or it's just a plethora of things that we can talk about that brings us so much pain and agony.
Right.
But the cure, one of the major cures about this, is laughter.
That's right.
And I think that we need to also go into depth in regards to what laughter really looks like on a stress-less scale. So I did some research in regards to laughter, right?
Now got to put the research with it.
Right.
Come on.
It's just gonna be laughing up in here. We're gonna put the science with the laughing.
Come on.
As you all know, I am a very laughing. I laugh all the time. It's just something that is just in my genes. I love to laugh. But guess what? I have very few ailments and sicknesses in my body. I don't get sick. If I do, it's something that I went and worked out and probably, got it from sweat, because that's where most of like that back after it comes from me working out, right? But just one of the short-term benefits of laughter is stimulating the organs.
Think about that, family.
Come on.
You think you just having a good old time here in the heart, and you are stimulating your organs.
Stimulating the organs. Laughter enhances the intake of oxygen-rich areas that stimulates the heart, the lungs, the muscles, and it increases the endorphins that is released in your brain.
Come on.
Just laughing, right? So that's one short term. Yes, yes, sir.
That, y'all go ahead in the next room and grab that old miserable grouch, because everybody got one in the house. Go get them. Go get them right now.
Right.
You gotta yell at them because they responded to that. Just have them come on out for a minute. We're gonna make them laugh.
We're gonna definitely make them laugh. And then the other thing is it activates and releases your stress response.
Come on,
It's so good when you're actually rocking and laughing. When you're rocking and laughing, you're releasing those stress responses. I look. You remember that part in The Color Purple when Sophia was rocking back and forth and said, "Oh, Sophia's back. There's gonna be a lot of changes going on around here." But if you notice in the
you missed your
whole
calling,
movie,
Sis Khalil. I just want you to know that you missed your calling, sis.
She sure did.
Listen, but she was laughing. It was that time in her life that her whole dynamic of her mind changed. She became a beautiful jewel that was hiding inside of all that grief and pain throughout the course of the movie.
Right.
Sophia's back as pass me those peas. You know what I mean? She was happy. She was.
That's true.
So now we know. Sister Khalil, you auditioned for the part and you got mad because they didn't give it to you.
Exactly.
She did that. She definitely did
She did that part.
That's a fact.
That's it.
I tell you what, Sister Khalil, why you listen to all these benefits, right?
Right.
Why don't we give the folks something to laugh at real quick?
Okay, cool. All right, so this is something
you gotta put it in motion, right?
Okay, so this is something that
Sorry,
look,
I love it. I know how it is.
So what I did, I have actually created like this, I call it like the laughing team. And so what we do, we exchange things that's really funny amongst one another. And this is one that I sent to my laughing group. in regards to laughter. So I'm going to share my screen real quick here.
Oh man, I gotta see this.
For a second. That's all.
So this is it. Okay, hold on. I got
the volume here.
Oh, Lord.
That's something I would do. That is definitely something I would do. That's something I would do.
All right, Santa Claus. All right, bring it.
I'm done. I think this. Listen, Sister Kalila has literally let us go, or letting us go down at the right time. Because
come on.
Gotta laugh, family.
Wait a minute.
Have laughter in your life.
Listen, wait a minute. This goes into what's the Sunday's meeting lecture about? What's about?
Up with Jesus, down with Santa.
Come on.
We just saw a commercial for that. That was a
literally.
commercial.
Literally.
Santa went down. I don't know if y'all saw, but Santa went down.
Santa went down. And across and around.
The little boy said, "Y'all not fooling me no more." That's it. He was done. But
that's a fact.
That's a fact. So now listen.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ms. Kalila. Go ahead.
No. It's more, but we're gonna put it on our Facebook page in regards to the benefits of laughter, because that's just one part of it. I mean, you have long-term effects as well that have actually cured people from cancer.
That's
just laughing.
Believe it.
Good point, that's
just laughing, just getting it out.
Right.
Just getting it out. So we're going to put it on our Facebook page, and you will see the benefits of laughing, and just laugh with all. Just laugh, just get it out.
Sometimes you got to go put on one of them old movies and just close the door.
Listen,
my favorite. Listen, you just gotta do something. But you know, here I am. You know, I'm about to land a plane.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
Close to the ground. You close to the ground. Listen, I want to thank Sister Kalila for that, because that literally helped me lighten the mood. Right.
There you go.
Hey, brother, you just don't understand. I can hardly see. Yes, I have to see.
Right,
right now. I can't even see you right now. But thank you so much for coming on, because I learned so much about you. You know, I mean, I've seen you over the years, you know, and I really did not know your story. And I really thank you for coming on the platform and really talking to the audience, educating myself, educating the audience. Thank the people that are in your group. Which the name of the group again? Intellectual extremists. Listen, they showed out. Okay, I just want to let you know.
Come on, y'all.
Evening. That's right. Whoop, whoop. So listen, I want to thank everyone for joining. As you know, Brother Tony mentioned, there is another show where we absolutely have to support. Okay, we know, like he said, so-called Latino brothers and sisters, but we know them as our brothers and our sisters. And we will support each other till we can't support each other no more. So I just want to make sure that you all, after this, you jump on there and give them your support as well. Again, we thank you for coming on the platform, Brother Rizza. Again, my personal pleasure. Thank you. I didn't get to kind of give you, well, I'm going to give you a thanks, because when that whole thing came out with you and Minister Tony, I know I can never remember his whole name.
I know it's a long one. Abdul Malik Saeed Muhammad. I know.
Abdul Malik
Saeed Muhammad. When you guys came out and that all thing broke out, it just because I have a son who was affected. So it was really one of those things where it hit home for me. So I just wanted to thank you for exposing it so that other people can really recognize and save their babies. Because it's one of the things that, you know, so I'm very thankful. But I won't belay the message. I want to thank the audience. Thank everyone for joining in Thursday Talks. Brother Rizzo, what we do is that we pass the baton around. So I give it to Brother Loud, and Brother Loud jumps it over to Sister Kalila. And since Brother Tony's not here, we're gonna let you close it out. And then Brother, and then Brother Loud does this thing with the fingers. But yeah, listen, okay, they
I gotta see the finger thing. I gotta see the finger thing.
We do something with the fingers at the end. But anyway, Brother Loud, go ahead. I'll take it over to you.
Thank you, dear sister Michelle. I'll close out with two things. Number one, thanking you, dear brother, for your willingness on this journey. It's one thing to be called or chosen or prepared, but it's another thing to be a willing vessel and servant. And may Allah continue to bless your future with abundant success, because your success is our success. Yes. And we just want to have you back on in the future sometime to really delve in and maybe let some people know some things they might not be getting in mainstream media and those kind of things. But you're right on point there, brother, and your work is not in vain. Yes. And the last thing I'll close out with is just letting people know next week. And since Khalil, if you can just pull up that placard, we got a special program next week, right? We're going to bring on 2 Grammy nominees. Ooh. Now, what's so unique about these 2 Grammy nominees, it's the first time. This is a collective of Black artists that have been nominated for Best Children's Music Album of the Year.
Oh, that's powerful.
And we're going to have 2 of those individuals on with us on next week to talk about it. And it's all positive music for our children, family. And we know that that's a serious issue. And so I just wanted to say that. And so let your people know about that next Thursday night on Thursday Night Talks. We have Brother Rizza Islam with us this evening, brother. And Rizza, keep giving us heaven, because you're giving it hell.
I'll do my best. Yes, sir.
Praises be to Allah. Rizza's like my little brother, Yep. When it's like when I first met him, and then it's like he blew up like the tsunami. I say, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
And the beautiful thing about having a little brother that's on the move.
Come on.
It's like I'm gonna share this moment. So I do this it's called the Melanin Market, and I do it every quarter, and I sell my little treats and things like that. So everybody at the Melanin Market knows that I'm a part of the Nation of Islam. So the sister came up to me and was like, "You're part of the Nation of Islam?" I said, "Oh, yes, ma'am." So I'm thinking that she was like, she want to be an MGT. She's interested in joining. Rizza Islam? I was like, wait a minute. Look, back up.
Right.
6 feet, She had your shirt on. She had the no vax. She was like, I just want to touch you because you know him. I was like,
the power of
I was like, oh, okay. I'm gonna let him. I don't even know the sister name. If she come after me, I apologize. You let him know, sister so and so got his back always and forever. Wherever he at, I'm always there for him. You see, I got the shirt on. I didn't even know you were gonna be out here, but I know that. I was like,
see that?
Okay.
That's
so
love.
You have no idea.
Wow.
Of who you are influencing, brother. Like I said, that sister didn't care about who I was. It was like, do you know? Because if you know, I want to touch you. Can I just touch you? I was like, oh,
right.
COVID.
Man, be good.
But it was such a beautiful exchange, and she really didn't want to leave my booth. And I was like, I could put you to work, but it was she was so involved in. To be honest with you, I don't even think that she fully knew.
Touched by an angel, but
she's just—it's just one of those things that when you are led by a spirit, and people don't know, it's just like the in the Bible, it talks about the woman who was plagued for 18 years, and she touched the garment of Jesus, and Jesus was like, hold on, who touched me? And his disciples said, well, everybody touching you. He was like, no. It was a certain person that touched me because I felt it in my spirit. And you have been touched by the spirit of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and with your spirit is resonating in people that don't even know you, but just want to be in your presence.
Wow.
That's a beautiful gift, brother. And I am honored to be your big sister.
That's right.
And, of course, as a big sister, I'm gonna fight to the tooth and nails. I don't care where you at.
That's right.
She's clearly gonna fight anyway.
Up.
Let's just be real. She's gonna fight anyway.
I'm gonna fight. Yeah, you're gonna fight everyone. So, but I pull up, and I want to thank you again. Just for sharing this platform with us. Again, it's long overdue, but again, this is home. So
that's right.
You already know what home is. So I thank you again, brother, that, and I love you. I love you.
I love you as well. I love us, for real.
For real. And I'm going to pass it back to brother.
You're going to pass it to Brother Rizzo.
Okay, Brother Rizzo.
Your closing words.
With that being said, closing remarks.
Oh man, I don't, I just 7th region will always be home for me as well, because I was out there for a minute over in St. Pete,
right,
where I was. So I love us, and I just pray to Allah that we continue to enhance the work that we do in our respective areas, no matter where we are, no matter what occupation we have. This work is a continuous work. And anyone who's watching right now, you may not think you are important, you may not think you are valuable enough, you may not think there's anything special about you that you can contribute to the upliftment of our people, but you are, and there is something that you can do, something that you can offer. There are gifts that every single person has, as the Holy Quran says. There are no two human beings on the earth with the same fingerprint, which means everyone is special in their own way. So find out what specialty you have, what it is that makes you who you are, and as the minister says, use your gifts and talents to help our people. So I guess I'll leave it with that. I mean, I'm just so full. I love y'all. I love this mission. I love the ministry, and I pray to Allah to continue moving forward until we reach the hereafter. We have true freedom, justice, and equality, and that universal government where all of us can live in peace together.
Beautiful, right? And lean in real quick for a minute, brother. I want to make sure they see that hat that you have on there.
Oh, yes, sir.
Right there, right? Yeah, see that there, right? Some people got milk, right? Some people got milk, but our brother got senses.
Come on.
He's following the greatest one that ever got senses. So, family, we close out. We're not a gang. We're not a clique. We are an organized group of brothers and sisters, but we are 7 Region Coalition.
Thank you all. Love you all. Have a wonderful evening. Now go to the next show.
That's right.